All right, we'll now move on to our CEO panel. If I can welcome up Ben Amarfio and Eugene Arocca to join me up here. Come on up. Give them a big round of applause. Ben, firstly, a huge congratulations also extended to you today. What's the message that today conveys from your perspective?
I think two words probably come to mind. I think confidence and pride, the words that come to mind. Hopefully, and I've got some feedback already about our supporters and our members are up and about this morning because they've seen some of the news reports, and that fills my heart because that's why we're here. We're here for the members. And so the fact that our members are more confident today and are proud of our club, and hopefully this changes the narrative a bit about our club because there has been a narrative around our club for many years. Hopefully we start to change that narrative. So that's probably the thoughts that come to my mind.
And what does it mean from a redevelopment perspective?
Well, the boys have talked a bit about it. I mean, this facility we stand in front of, and it goes all the way down the other side there, this is a $30 million facility that this wouldn't be here today if not for the efforts of all the people here and many thousands of people that aren't here. But contributions of the Victorian Government, benefactors, sponsors, the AFL. We've got some representatives here from the AFL. I think Brian Walsh is here, and Brad Scott is now an AFL person, but he's still a North Melbourne man. We've got a few spies in there. But, you know, a lot of people have contributed that $30 million that Huge started, and that's why it's important that Huge is here today. And Carl Delena was supposed to be here, but he's an apology, but he did want to be here. It was important that we acknowledged and recognised everyone over the past 3.5 decades that it's taken when our debt was at its worst to get to this point today. But looking forward, we're about to embark on another redevelopment. So stage 2, Chris Simmons, our CFO, has done a power of work. The Victorian Government have been fantastic. It's an $8 million project, and the Victorian Government has tipped in 7 of that $8 million. It'll go down the eastern end of the building. That'll start in January, be finished by July. Wow. That means more facilities for our women. Emma Carney, our captain, is here. More facilities for our women, more facilities for our digital department, and importantly, more facilities for the huddle as well. So we're excited about that. And then you go beyond that, we've got the Arden Precinct. So the next, and Ben talked about this, the next 10 years we've got to look forward to is this whole area will be gentrified. We'll have new recreational ovals and new facilities and property developments. It'll jump out of the ground, and it's a terribly exciting time.
But still the shinboner spirit will always remain.
Absolutely.
Eugene, what was it about the club that resonated with you when you walked through the door from another club down the road?
Yeah. Well, I think, it's pretty obvious for the members in particular. And the day when I took the job, Glenn Archer rang me out of the blue, and I'd only seen Archer a couple of times, and he'd absolutely made it clear that the moment I'd taken the job, I was a shinboner. And so from that point on, it was pretty obvious that there was only one way for me, and I left a club that I'd supported for 40 years and I'd been a director of, and have now pretty much, I'm going to die a shinboner. So I think the members in particular, and there are individuals that, you know, came through at the right time, but it's the people that count.
Yeah, and to both of you, we'll start with you, Eugene. Can you take us through the contributions, the significant contributions of some characters around the club?
Well, Pete Durausch, I met him before I took the job and got a handshake from him, but he was going to hand over his shares. And I think returning the club to the members was a really important thing for us. And so the 446 shareholders that I rang late at night to get their shares back, plus the patrons, the people actually controlled the club to get it back to where it was. Peter Scanlon, he's a very modest man, but it's not very often you go in to see someone in their office and hoping to get 100,000 and walk away with $1 million on a 10-minute conversation. So Peter Scanlon, and JB said it, we would not be here without Pete Scanlon. JB, he put faith in me. He came and talked me into the job. I had a lot of people telling me not to take it, from the AFL, from friends, from Eddie Maguire. But JB convinced me it was the right call, and it was fantastic. The coaches, Danny and Brad, who did everything for us. You could never ask them for anything that they wouldn't accept to do, including putting money into the club. So there are a host of people, Trevor O'Hoy, John McEwen. There's a lot of people that you could rattle off, but Peter Scanlon in particular, if they do get the opportunity to put a statue up, I'll be one of the first contributors. Trust me, you absolutely saved this club, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I would, if I could expand upon that, I would say, first and foremost, our members. Only a few years ago, we had 38,000 members. Today, or at the end of last year, at the end of the season, we had 47,000 members. So we increased our membership by 20% in 2 years when we were second last and last,
Wow.
which says something about North Melbourne supporters and North Melbourne people, that they would, instead of deserting us when we're at the bottom of the ladder at the start of a rebuild, something we've engineered, we get it, but to jump on in droves is just fantastic. So first and foremost, our members, and I think we're going to hear from Helen soon. She's brought some cupcakes or muffins along, hopefully.
Muffins.
Hopefully there's a muffin there for me.
There's one there for you.
Thank you. So Helen's been a member for 35 years. I don't think she ever misses an AGM. So Helen's here to represent our members, our 47,000 members. Our coteries, so the match committee and the patrons, the guys that own the club and that graciously gave their shares back, thanks to Eugene and James Brayshaw, who convinced those guys, and I think Alan Johnson's here, and there's a few other patrons here as well. I don't want to mention because I'm going to forget names, but as I said, the coteries, the shin boners, the match committee members, our management team, and management teams of the past. My entire management team is here today. I can see them all here. I won't mention them all because there's about 10 of them, but the management team have been fantastic and have worked tirelessly to get to this result. And the sponsors, Ben mentioned Vinesh, 22, 23 years that Mazda's been with us. Fantastic supporter. Spirit of Tasmania, they've been with us for a decade now, and I think John McGrath is here somewhere. I'm not quite sure, I haven't seen John, but John's a GM. There he is. Yeah. So thank you for coming along today, John, and thank you, Spirit Tasmania, and send our regards to Mike and Bernard and the Premier. Two great sponsors, as many and many others, and it's great to have Puma on board now, our newest sponsor. So we're blessed. We're blessed. Great people, great supporters, and hopefully this is the start of our next chapter.